Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Sophia with Garden State Film Festival, and we are talking about the short film Cameo. Here to talk to us is the director, writer, producer, and editor of the film, Ryan G. Kelly. Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations.
Thank you for having me. Good to be here.
Of course. So, first, let's get started with you telling our audience a little bit about Cameo.
So Cameo, the elevator pitch is it's a movie about a woman who receives a mysterious necklace and then her world begins falling apart. She starts having these strange hallucinations, seeing these strange visions, and then the movie sort of asks this question: Is this in her head? Is this really happening to her? And that's something that you have to watch the movie to find out.
Love it. Love that you're hanging people on their seat. We got to watch the movie to find out. Indeed. And I love that elevator pitch. I always can't wait to hear filmmakers like little pitch for it. And it's very impressive. So, Cameo is actually a proof of concept film for a feature. Is that correct?
Yeah, sometime in the course of working on the script with my co-writer and wife, also. So we do write together. We write independently, but we write together too. And a lot of times we just say, "Oh, this is a really good idea. This is one we should do together. Yeah, this would
Oh,
benefit from collaboration." And in the course of the short, it became pretty obvious to me that there was a feature in there. So I wanted to
mm,
build upon that. I mean, the cursed object trope is a great trope to build around.
right.
It's a and for an indie movie, I thought it works really well too because you're taking this kind of common everyday object and you're building a whole story around it, and it takes on this larger significance.
Absolutely. And that is so interesting. I think a lot of the time I hear when people make these proof of concept short films, they have the feature film in their mind and they're like, okay, let's make this into a short film. But it was the opposite for you guys where you were writing the short film and you thought, there's so much more behind this.
Yeah, that's the way you just described is the way a smart person would approach it. The way, yeah, taking your 13-minute thing and expanding it into 100 minutes is hard. And honestly, like there were in the times when we struggled with it. Honestly, for me, it was going back to the short and looking at
Mm,
the short and saying, what did this mean, or like what could be behind this, and also showing the short to people and the questions they ask, like, wait, what does this line mean, or what's going on in this relationship, or so I feel like the script is almost like a result of this collaboration, not just between my wife Emily and myself, but also kind of with the audience that had seen the short. So that was a fun process.
wow. So is the feature already written? Or are you and Emily writing it now?
Yeah, it'll probably still go through rewrites, but
Mhm.
it is in a shape where I'm trying to build a team around it, and
Oh,
but
how
yeah, that's
interesting.
really exciting. It took years and years to get to that point, and
Wow.
some harsh feedback from some mentors along the way.
I can imagine. As a writer, you got to be used to that, right?
You need it. You need to work. For me, you always need to work with people who kind of know a little more than you and are a little more experienced than you, and that's we all help each other, and that's one of the fun things about it.
Yeah. So I would love to know when you and Emily first wrote Cameo and what that writing process was like. You guys were both writing this one script. So how was that?
Yeah, sure. So we started it in the fall of 2018. Again, it kind of sprung from wanting to do something that was built around the cursed object thing. It went through a couple drafts at that point. So, and then we started shooting it in August 2019, so about a year later. I'd say it went through like 6 drafts as a short and evolved pretty considerably.
So you have directed many short films and written some other stuff. So what was your favorite to write? Is thriller like your go-to genre or is this new?
Yeah, kind of became my go-to genre. My thesis film at my film school was a romantic comedy, and it was pretty obvious to myself and everyone I think around me that I don't have much talent for that. Um, and then as I started writing, just trying to kind of find my voice, I wrote all kinds of stuff, and everything that kind of worked and was interesting to me, like, was in the thriller horror space. So I just discovered that at least as a writer, like darker material is definitely like a
Right.
calling.
Did you have any other like were you inspired by any other films or any artists when making Cameo?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. In terms of older films, Roman Polanski's Repulsion and Rosemary's Baby are big ones, and then in
Mm.
terms of newer movies, Steven Soderbergh's movie Unsane, which he shot on an iPhone, which Cameo was also largely shot on an iPhone, was a big influence. I
Oh,
really wanted to take like this everyday tool that we have, and
oh my
use
gosh.
it.
Well, let's talk about that. That is really cool. So most of this was shot on an iPhone. Who was holding the iPhone? How did we shoot Cameo?
our great cinematographer, a great friend Carly shot it. She also shot my last short Mania, and yeah, she's super talented and she's a very outside the box creative person. Um, and I just said, "Hey, I think we should shoot this on a phone." I don't know, it just something about the material screamed to me like, let's shoot it this way. And
Mhm.
actually, this short film was reviewed, and the reviewer said that it gave it like kind of an uncanny valley effect, which I thought was interesting. Not
Mm.
necessarily intentional, but I thought that was an interesting observation.
Yeah. How long did the filming process take?
A long time. It was 589 days from day one to the last day. We had a setback in
Wow.
that first leg of shooting in August 2019. We had to start over. We had to start from scratch essentially. Then we started up again in January 2020. We had one shooting day left in April of 2020. I don't have to tell anyone what happened.
Oh,
And then
man.
it was April of 2021 finally. The scenes we shot last, we just did in a little studio that this contact of mine who also helped with the post owns. And yeah, we did it with just the one actress and with Sarah, who's great in it and is a great person, and
Yeah.
of like the smallest crew possible. It was like being back in film school. I was lugging in all the equipment, rigging the lights. We were just like, how do we do
Yeah.
this just as safely as possible, and just get it done, and get it start getting it ready for festivals. And then it was a picture lock a month later.
Wow, how impressive that you guys went through all those obstacles and the pandemic was not the first obstacles you ran into. What kept you guys going? How did you guys continue to make Cameo?
Yeah, that's a great question. Sheer there's a lot to be said for just sheer willpower and kind of bending the world to your will as an independent filmmaker. I think it's partially what you got to do, and then also what kept me going too was Sarah, the lead actress, especially, really really believed in it. But everybody did. Everybody who was there on that last day in April of 2021 was other than Sarah because she came later. But everyone on the crew side was there that first day in August of 2019, and I couldn't believe that. I thought that
Mm,
level of dedication was just incredible and really touching to me.
yeah. So talk to me about getting Sarah and the rest of the cast. How did you find the cast?
Most of it was just word of mouth referrals, and then Casey Lemon, who's now out in LA and she's doing great things and will continue to do great things. She was via casting call, but the rest of it was just kind of word of mouth and referrals, and asking kind of people within the community, "Oh, do you think she'd be good for this?" And then yeah,
Mm,
Sarah read the script and was so enthusiastic about it. Just and she really gave it her all, and it's an intense and demanding role, and I was there
mhm,
take after take after take. I mean, she was doing that stuff 12, it's a 12-hour day.
right. Wow.
Um, and she's come to every screening she can. I expect she'll be at the Garden State Film Festival too. She's been incredibly supportive of it, and
Yeah.
she's proud of it, and she should be, and she should be proud of her work. I mean,
Absolutely. Shout
part
out
of
to
it's not her
Sarah.
movie, honestly.
Does not look like an easy role to take on. It
No.
looks tough. Yeah, a lot of heavy lifting there. So I want to talk about you as a filmmaker and a director, Ryan. You are a multi-award winning filmmaker. You're from Jersey, which I love to hear. So tell me about what you've learned from your filmmaking experience. What advice can you give some other artists?
Yeah, for people who, yeah, maybe are more starting out. Yeah, first watch everything you can. There's no substitute. The best film school is other movies, and see the classics, seek things out to have a real intellectual curiosity about movies, and then in terms of doing it, put the work in, and also it's who you surround yourself with. I mean, it's everything. The people on the crew side, the people that act in it, not just their talent, but also the type of people they are, the type of artists they are. It's
Mm,
everything who you surround yourself with, and I think that's true in life too. Who you surround yourself with is really
yeah.
important.
I love that though. Watching films is really a school within itself. And reading your bio, I think I read that you watched a lot of classical films growing up.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My dad's older, so he kind of lived through the golden age of Hollywood. So I was exposed to
Mhm.
all that stuff at a young age.
Oh, wow. So, do you have any favorite artists out there, like, who really inspire you to make films?
Yeah, the
Favorite
one I always
directors?
the moment I always point to was I just found like a VHS tape when I was like 12 of Goodfellas lying around and probably was too young to be watching it.
Goodfellas.
But not
Yep.
just it's a great movie, but it was the first time, like, in terms of movies I saw that I felt like, "Oh, a person made this." Like, you see, like, the voice of a director in that movie. And
Mm.
certainly there are many movies where that's true, but that was just the first time, like, I really sort of got that. Whereas I
Yes.
thought before I'd wanted to be an actor because I think as a kid you see movies, then you like them, and you see actors, it's like, "Oh, I wanna do that."
Mhm.
and I thought I wanted to be an actor, but what I really wanted to do was, write and direct them.
Right. So what makes a great director to you, and what do you think makes you a great director? Like, what's most important to you when directing something?
Using the camera as a real storytelling tool. Thinking about your shots. Is it shot deliberately, or is it shot, like coverage, which is something they
Ah.
teach you in film school, which I think should be a dirty word personally. I think, directors who think in terms of like staging and blocking, um, and films that really have all of the elements, that have good acting, good
Mhm.
writing. I think good writing is the most important thing, and I think it's the
Right.
rarest thing in film and TV personally.
Yeah.
Music, you want all the elements to be as strong as possible.
Absolutely, and you guys really use that in Cameo, especially lighting. So I wanna talk to you about that lighting in the music. Was that all done in the editing room since you edited this as well, or was that all planned and in the shot list?
Oh, yeah, the lighting was done on set, and I think, the digital cameras now are, great because they're so sensitive to light, but that also can yield, like, images that are kind of flat. So I think, just trying to get contrast, I think, is a big thing that certainly I care about, like, in the pre-production process, is getting contrast in an image and creating a dynamic image. And then music, yeah, Holly Amberchurch, who's great, and she's LA based and she's doing great things. Yeah, I lucked out getting her. And then Emily, who helped me produce it, in addition to her writing, she had this amazing idea. I think it was maybe her finest moment as a producer. She's like, "But why don't we get real musicians for the score?" That didn't even occur to me. And I'm like,
Wow.
"Yeah, why don't we do that? That sounds amazing." And I asked Holly if that would be possible, and we used this company called the Budapest Scoring Orchestra, and they were awesome, and they were cost effective too. I mean,
Mhm.
it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't like it's great. It was because it was a string quartet. It wasn't like a full blown orchestra.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, that really, I mean, that took it to a whole other level. I mean, the first time I heard the music, I was just absolutely blown away by it. I mean, and I'd seen the movie. I'd obviously cut it together, and I know what it
Mhm.
looks like without the music also. So
That's brilliant. How did that work getting an orchestra to make the score? Did you guys send them the film, or did you send them ideas of what you had?
yeah, what Holly did essentially, I think I have the workflow right. That she synthesized the score first, essentially, and I think she sent them the music, and she virtually conducted the session, I believe, also.
Wow.
And they had some extra time, and she said they experimented a little bit. So 'cause I think they booked an hour or something, and she had a little extra time, and yeah, they did some really interesting things with the music.
That sounds awesome. So when you eventually make this feature film, what are the goals? Do you guys have a date set? Are you gonna use most of the cast that we see in this short film in it?
We got to take it one day at a time. Is
Right.
kind of where I'm at. But yeah, we're putting it together as best we can, as quick as we can. I think also, as when you're directing, like, you're just juggling as many balls as you can. Like, let's say you move your
Yeah.
career forward, you have a project. Oh, I have a little bit here, and I'm working a little bit on this, and then something kind of eventually, hopefully, pans out. And I want to do another short. I have an idea for
Mhm.
another short that I'm pretty excited about. And
Yes,
it's
I
always
love it.
that's another piece of advice I'd give. Just always be creating. I think if you
Yeah.
make that your emphasis, things pan out over time, because it goes slow, especially when you're talking about trying to break into an industry where you have no connections. You
Mhm.
really gotta get work out there. That's the only way.
Yeah, keep putting out work, keep telling stories. I mean, I love that Cameo is playing at Garden State Film Festival. I love to see thrillers. I just love that there's so many different genres and so many different types of films at this festival. Why did you submit to Garden State Film Festival? Have you been here before? Oh wait, I think you haven't you been here before?
No, it's my first time.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why I'd never had. I
Me
don't.
either. You're a Jersey
I
filmaker
know. I
and
don't
you've
know
made
why I
many shorts.
never. I don't know why I never had, but this was really, this was well, it wasn't actually, no, it was partially shot in New York too, but it
Okay,
was also
but it's
partially
a
shot in
homegrown
Jersey.
short. Yeah, we got some Jersey filmmakers here. You're from Jersey, and most of it was short and shot in Jersey.
But yeah, no, I felt like, I'm very, very, I'm proud of all my films. I'm especially proud of this one. So I'm like, I want to go into the Garden State Film Festival for sure. And it felt like I
Uh,
had a good chance to get in.
yeah, and you did. Congratulations on that. How does it feel to have it screening? It's the 21st year, and how are you feeling about it?
Oh, I think it's fantastic. I mean, it feels sort of like like in terms of this film's festival run, like kind of climbing a certain mountain to me.
Mhm. Oh man,
So
so
I'm
I'm
really, I'm really
assuming
happy. I'm really proud. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
very excited. And I
And
know
I'm
a couple
assuming
of the filmmakers in the block too, so it'll be like a little
yes.
family reunion. Yeah, Larry Rosen's in the block. Larry's a great guy. Tom Ryan's in the block. He's a wonderful guy.
Oh, great.
So
It's
I'm
gonna be
glad
a
to be
good
screening
block.
alongside some friends too.
And you and Emily will be there, and I think you mentioned Sarah tries to go to each screening as well?
Yeah. And I think now we'll definitely peer pressure.
Oh, yes. Yes, if you're seeing this, Sarah, be there. But definitely, I can't wait for audiences at Garden State Film Festival to see this. Let me tell everyone how they can watch Cameo. It will be screening Saturday, March 25th at the Cranford Theater in the film block 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. So definitely check it out. Come meet Ryan, Emily, maybe Sarah. And yeah, it'll be a great film block, like you said, Ryan. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for taking time out to talk to us today. And congratulations again.
great. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you at the festival.
You too. Bye bye.